Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Apple Box Chronicles. My name is Peyton Buto,
And I'm Adrian Thomas.
and today on the ABCs, we are taking you from A to Z on Black Phone 2, the new horror film from Scott Derrickson, sequel to 2021's The Black Phone. This is our Halloween special, and therefore we are also doing something else. We are going to do our own personal top 10 horror sequels. After we talk about Black Phone 2, we're going to get into that. So there's going to be a brief spoiler-free section about this movie. Then there's going to be some spoiler talk, and then we're going to go into the top 10 horror sequels for each of us. So two different lists. We'll go back and forth, and we'll get into the rules of that, I guess, when we get to that point in the show. Another unique aspect of this particular episode is that usually me and Adrian, being roommates and friends, we kind of just, or we see the movie together, we kind of always have had some kind of preemptive conversation about whatever film we're seeing. I saw Black Phone 2 at Fantastic Fest about a month ago, and I saw it again this past week when it opened up in theaters. Adrian saw it last night. Mm-hmm. So for this episode, we actually haven't talked to each other about this movie at all. So we actually have ideas about what each other think, but we don't actually know right now. So that's like that. I was like, we need to preserve that organic.
I mean, I definitely have a feeling I know how you're gonna go about talking about this movie, but I'm curious how you think I'm gonna talk about this movie.
I think you're gonna talk about this movie like how you talk about most movies, like most. I mean, like most movies that come out like that don't wow you, where you're just like, it was pretty good. I feel like that's gonna be the consensus, but I feel like we're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into it. So, Black Phone 1, released in 2021, directed by Scott Derrickson, starring Mason Thames, who's become a lot bigger in
How to Train Your Dragon live action.
Yep, we did an episode on that. Check it out. So How to Train Your Dragon live action. He's also in the new Colleen Hoover adaptation, Regretting You, I believe it's called. That's coming out next week.
I didn't even know he was in that.
Here's a little fun trivia fact that I learned from my buddy Stone on TikTok, is that Mason Thames has a chance this year to break a little bit of a record. Basically, he has 3 films: How to Train Your Dragon, Black Phone 2, and Regretting You, coming out this year. If Black Phone 2 is number 1 this weekend, and Regretting You is number 1 next weekend, How to Train Your Dragon was number 1 on its release weekend. If those 3 films are all number 1, he would be the first actor to have 3 number 1 opening films in the same year since, I believe, Jim Carrey in the 90s. And he is 18 years old.
Yeah.
So that is quite the achievement. Good agent on that guy.
Yeah.
And also he's very talented. I like him a lot.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, Black Phone was his first movie, and
which is also just crazy.
He's fantastic in it, and he's going toe to toe with Ethan Hawke for most of it. So I love Black Phone 1. Just briefly, I love that movie a lot. It not only because I think it's an extremely well done horror movie, and it's like a coming of age movie, and it's kind of a movie about belief and faith as well, and it's sort of, this one kind of leans more into that in the sequel, but. One of the reasons I love it, too, is a very personal one, where it was actually the first ever movie I got invited to, like, straight invited to as a press screening, like, hey, come out, we'll put you on the list, or whatever. The first time that's ever happened to me was Black Phone, and I took my other roommate at the time, who is a huge horror fan, and she and I went, and it was an incredible theater experience, because everybody was getting scared. Everybody was so excited. When Finn kills the grabber at the end, people literally cheered like it was Marvel. And I was just I was so excited about the movie, but like it lived up to every expectation and more. It was like one of the most satisfying theater experiences. It was also the first time I ever met another TikTok person in the wild. He was sitting in my row, and we're still mutuals to this day. So that was really fun. And yeah, just like, I got to tell Scott Derrickson and C. Robert Cargill and 2 of the actors who are in Black Phone 2. Miguel Mora, who played Robin in the first one, plays his own brother Ernesto in this one. And Anna Laurie, who plays she plays the character of Finn and Gwen's mom, who was only alluded to in the first one, but it actually has some flashbacks and some moments here. So I met those two actors, very nice people, and basically I told all of them, I was like, this. I was like, this movie was this is such a full circle moment that I'm talking to you because, the first ever movie I got invited to was Black Phone, and now I'm here at the world premiere of the second one. So it's just kind of like a little moment of growth, and so yeah, I got to just chat with them a little bit. All very nice people. Scott Derrickson. Every time I run into him, he's the sweetest guy. Like, he remembered me from 2 years prior, which I thought was crazy. Like, me and all of my friends. He was like, I remember all of you. And we only met him, we only talked to him for 5 minutes one time. So,
yeah, I mean, it just sounds like a type of guy that, responds to his fans and the people that like his stuff. Which I feel like if you're an artist of any kind and people love your stuff and they talk to you about it passionately, you tend to remember that.
Yeah.
So, probably made an impression in terms of that.
No, yeah. But, yeah, I can just tell he's very passionate. This is also, Black Phone 2 is a family affair. Scott Derrickson's wife was the second unit director, so she shot actually a lot of this. And his son, Atticus Derrickson, does the score.
Yeah, I saw that in the credits. I was like, wait a second. That's the same last name.
Yep. He does and the score's great. I think it adds quite a bit to the movie. I think it's really good. The main title theme I think is still the Mark Corvin one from the first movie though, for the opening credits. Anyway, I've talked enough about it. What do you think of the first movie?
Yeah, I remember when me and my roommate saw it. I think it was one of those early out of COVID theater experiences that we've had. Of just going back to the theater, and it was fun. Yeah, it was a fun time. I didn't really expect much from it, but it gave me pretty much what I wanted from it. It's a fun kind of nostalgic coming of age horror movie, which you don't always get. And yeah, I liked it. I like the way that it looks, that it's how it's directed. I like all the the horrorness of the Black Phone movies. I think the only thing I wasn't always convinced was really just some of the dialogue, some of the writing. But I mean, that could be a stylistic thing or whatnot. There's always something when it comes to kids being directed or acting or what they say on the screen, where it's you kind of have to give and take the moment and what they're trying to emote and say and do. Sometimes it comes off naturally, sometimes it doesn't. And when it comes to kid actors, it's always a bit wonky because it is hard to direct children but with Black Phone, the two main kids, Mason Thames and
Madeline McGraw.
Yeah, they're so good, especially Madeline McGraw. She's amazing.
Yeah,
she's incredible in both the movies. But especially the first one, I was just like, oh my god, she's doing some stuff that it's hard for adult actors to do.
Yeah,
and so that really really impressed me. So yeah, I had a good time with the first Black Phone. It wasn't anything I would say one of the greatest horror movies or necessarily even a personal favorite of mine, but I liked it a lot when I saw it. And when I rewatched it, I was like, yeah, pretty much I have the same feelings about it.
I also had the same feelings about it, but I just have more feelings about it.
Yeah. There's a few things that I wasn't necessarily on board with, the fact that, and I'm going to spoil this, it's the first one, you guys should have seen it, but the whole him being in his brother's house, or his brother watching over him.
Yeah, he lives with his
I just
brother.
couldn't buy the fact that they were brothers. They seem so it's I feel like you would
they don't really have a scene together, barely,
and the way that the grabber is that was my brother, you killed him. And even in this one, he's I loved my brother and you made me kill him. I just didn't really feel that, and there wasn't a feeling of, did he actually love his brother?
I feel in his own weird way he might have.
He probably
I think by his own definition maybe he did, because it's he does kill him, and to him he considers that necessary, because he's found out.
Yeah, he's a psychopath,
and he was just
you
like,
can't really figure out what he's.
He was an idiot, but he was my idiot.
Yeah,
and I think here's what I think. I think the grabber probably quote loved his brother in the sense that he had a person that he was in close proximity to that knew nothing about what he was doing, and that was stupid enough, basically, and is aloof enough to basically not know. And he was so easily manipulated because they were related. He was just like, oh yeah, I kind of love that.
Threat to him.
Yeah, I kind of love that this guy, like, it's almost like he's very entertaining, and he's kind of fun to keep around.
The thing is, it kind of fell. Well, it's basically a twist in the movie that, oh crap, that guy's the dude's brother, and I just felt like it was probably a little bit unnecessary.
Maybe
you could talk around it, and
I just think
I just felt like it was unnecessary.
I thought it was hilarious the way that he was like, it has to be in this area, and it's literally
he's a
his
funny
house.
character for sure,
Yeah.
but just the fact that he was like his, I don't know, I just felt like it was a twist that wasn't necessary. I didn't get the point of it.
I think. Well, I think the grabber is there. Some people have theorized that he's kind of bipolar, like that he kind of switches up. Like that's the whole point of like the different masks with the frown and the smile and stuff. Like when he has the smile mask on in the first movie, that's when he feeds Finn. That's when he's like trying to be nice. He even says he's like, I didn't do that. I didn't take those other kids or whatever.
I mean,
like he kind of has this interesting psychology where he has different modes of being a person, and he changes around.
I mean, I think that's the basis for like a lot of known serial killers, but I also don't think we should just be saying, "Oh, he's bipolar" or "he's that." We don't know.
Well, no, we don't, that's why I said some people I've seen have said that. I don't necessarily agree with that.
And the fact that people are throwing out just like these psychological terms based on like what they think someone is in a movie doesn't necessarily mean that person in the movie has that.
No, it doesn't. And I think that I do think that kind of boxes the character in.
Yeah.
But the reason I brought that up is I guess more of just a segue into what I'm trying to say, which is that he does seem to have other I guess ways of living that we don't see in the first movie that because we're in Finney's shoes the whole time. So I just think there's like these allusions to like him having, I guess, him doing his job or having a brother or doing all these different things. Also, the inspiration for the character is, obviously it's based on a Joe Hill short story, Stephen King's son, but a lot of the reason Scott Derrickson likes it is because it kind of draws from his childhood. He had, I think, in his neighborhood, a person got murdered, and so when he was a kid, he was like, a serial killer could really be out there just snatching people up. He could just be in a van, like, going around. So there was that, and then also just the fact that I think Scott Derrickson had a pretty rough childhood. There was, I think, actual, abuse going on.
When I was doing the smallest amount of research by like just watching the behind the scenes for Black Phone, the first one on the Blu-ray, they literally say it's not necessarily a direct like adaptation of the short story because it was Scott Derrickson's childhood and he just needed a template for basically writing out like how he perceived his own childhood back in the 70s, and that kind of that trauma that kind of the atmosphere and the dark nostalgia of what it was like the way he was growing up, and how they could kind of use the template of Black Phone to inject his own childhood into it basically feels like these two movies are like Scott Derrickson doing a bit of his own personal therapy.
No, I love it. Yeah, that's why I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, is there anything else we want to get into on the first one?
No, I don't
I
think
feel like
so.
we shouldn't
Yeah.
spend too much time on it. So, second one, I'll let you go first. Brief, spoiler-free opinion. We're literally just gonna make like general statements about this, and then we're gonna get into it because there's a lot to talk about in the spoiler front, and I feel like the spoiler-free is gonna we can't take too much time in
Yeah.
it. This is gonna come out like a week after it's been out. Hopefully, you've seen the movie. If you haven't seen the movie, please come back. We're gonna have fun stuff to talk about. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was kind of off and on about it when I was watching it. Like there were moments where I was like, "Oh, this is cool," and then there were low moments where I was like, "Is are we going in the right direction with this one? I don't know." But then it would go back up, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, we're back into it. We're doing this is some fun stuff." So it kind of had me for a loop a bit, but in the overall, I did like it a lot more than I thought I would. And like I just said, watching this movie, I was just like, this is like therapy. I'm like going to therapy right now with Scott Derrickson.
That's my favorite kind of fucking movie in the world.
And it's I just felt like he's doing something with this movie that is just so you just don't see it a lot in horror movies where they're so there's something very sentimental and sweet about it that
It's sincere.
yeah, it's very sincere, and you just I think the fact that the first one was based so much with the fact that it was like they were I think the girl was 9 and Mason Thames
Was like 12 or something.
yeah, they were so young, and the fact that this movie is kind of just that trauma of the first one and just like everything about it. It needs to have that emotional weight to it, but you never see that in these types of horror movies, especially the sequel, which usually that's when they start going farther away from the emotional impact of the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
So that was really interesting. Yeah, that's my initial just spoiler free, I guess.
So it's good.
Yes.
Okay. So for me, the moment I've been waiting for. Okay, I love this movie. I really love this movie. So, bouncing off what you said, I really admire how, as a sequel, it doesn't go, okay, so now we're time jump, right? It's been 4 years, literally. He actually said to the studio, he was like, can I wait, like, 3 more years or something to make Black Phone 2? Because he was like, I want the characters to be older. I want to tell, like, a high school story, basically, now, instead of, like, a middle school story. Anyway, so he waited for the actors to grow up, literally. So what I like about it is that it's not doing this, okay, we got a time jump, and the characters they resolve their problems in the first movie, so we're looking at, like, the results of that, and everyone's happy, and then the grabber comes back. Oh my god, fuck, everything's bad. No, the movie is literally like, hey, dead is just a word. The grabber can die, and because the grabber is a manifestation of childhood fears and child abuse.
Yeah.
You know, you're afraid as a kid. I was afraid of getting kidnapped too. I would literally not, and I mean, a lot of this was instilled in me by how I was raised, but I would literally not go for years into a public bathroom by myself, ever. I would never go to the bathroom in a public place by myself. I was worried I would get snatched by somebody.
Jeez.
Yeah, so, like, that's real. And so to me, the grabber is this manifestation of, you know, when he's keeping Finney captive, it's like he wants, he even says in this movie, fear is just the warm-up. He wants to make him so scared and make him try to leave so that he can catch him and say, you know, oh, you disobeyed me, and beat him with a belt, like in the first movie. It's a very weird, unique kind of, like, kidnapping situation. He doesn't just want to kill these kids. He wants to make it, like, actually hurt. Yeah. And he wants to, like, basically torment them. And I think possibly you could surmise that he faced some abuse as a kid that messed him up in that way. But here's the great thing is that we don't get the backstory on the grabber in the first one, and we do get some more in this one, which we'll get into. But he doesn't. What I like is that we don't see his childhood. I don't want to see his childhood. Anyway. point is, I think he's a manifestation of all of these things. And so in this movie, it's showing how their father, Finn and Gwen's father, who was being abusive in the first one because he was an alcoholic, and that kind of made him way worse, and he wasn't properly dealing with, none of them were, but that was his way of coping with the mom's death and everything like that. And so at the end of that movie, at the same way that Finn takes out the grabber, like, he kind of, like, at that point starts on a journey to do better. And we see in this movie that he's on a journey of sobriety, and he's trying to be better. But Finn is starting to show some of those characteristics of his father. He is violent. He doesn't really believe in Gwen's dreams as much anymore. He says, it's just a dream, don't worry about it. He stops taking her seriously. So, like, those traits are starting to kind of carry over. He's smoking a lot of weed. He's kind of getting into, like, a bit of a habit of trying to suppress something that happened to him. So all of these things you kind of see, like, I just like how this movie is, like, everything, and it works with the Frozen atmosphere. It's like, yes, the body is dead, but it's not at rest. It's frozen. It's like unable to decay because the wound is still there, and you can't, these characters have to break the ice still. They have to be honest with each other.
Are we still in the spoiler-free section?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not being. I guess I hope I'm not being too specific. We can cut it out.
No, I was just like you're getting really. I like the.
Anyway,
there were moments that I didn't even know going in that you're talking about. I was like, oh, okay.
Well, my point of this is, and yeah, I'll wrap it up because I am getting carried away. I think the movie is showing what happens when, and it goes in line with, like, Scott Derrickson and his childhood and everything. It's like the abuse stopping, that, like, they are no longer being actively abused by their father. That stopping does not make everything okay and go away. It's like you have to, like, really process these things and actually be open about them and, like, work on them. And instead, you just see how the characters bottle it up, and that's this movie. It's like that's why the grabber has to come back, because it's like he's still it's them denying the Finn and his father being characters that deny the spirituality of the world in this movie. And this is not a spoiler. Like, Finn is kind of like he'll answer the phone and he'll to talk to, like, a ghost or whatever, and he'll just say, "I can't help you," and he shuts it because he's trying actively to shut that out. Because to admit that that there is life after death is to buy into the fear that the grabber is still there. And so that's why they have to just kind of act like everything's okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, I love this movie for that reason. I love the way that it portrays trauma, which I know is such a taboo thing to say about a horror movie. Oh no, it's about trauma. That's every horror movie. But it's like, that's one of the most horrific human experiences is trying to deal with something that happened that you can't change, and you have to accept. So anyway, yeah, we can get into the spoilers. I also, let's just, I guess we'll get into it. This is the spoiler section now. So if you haven't seen the movie, now you have a really good idea of the themes, I guess, and you should go watch it because it's really fascinating what they do with it.
Yeah.
Maybe we should cut some of that out. I don't know.
No, we'll see.
Just listen back and kind of like pretend that you haven't seen the movie and see how it sounds, because I was kind of getting a little too comfortable, I think, the way I was talking about it. So big difference from the first one stylistically, I think.
Yeah. I mean, it looks a bit. It looks a bit more glossier in this movie, other than the Super 8 stuff.
I think that is a good contrast to have for the Super 8. Fun fact about the Super 8. None of it is done digitally or artificially. It's all real. It's all really shot on Super 8.
And that's how it has. That's how you should do it.
Yeah. No, these motherfuckers are, like, straight. Like, they're legit. I mean, C. Robert Cargill posted, like, recently. He was like, "I heard some rumors going around about AI. I want you to know that no AI was used in concept art, writing, filming, editing, post. Like, literally no bit of research, anything." Everything's done legit in this movie.
Yeah.
And when they didn't have, I think when they had a lens that couldn't fit on the Super 8 camera, they would use 16 millimeter and cut it in half.
Oh, that's interesting.
So that's how they achieve that effect sometimes. But yeah, It was all legit. There was no. I mean,
they also used Super 8 in the first one too, but I think
it's way more in this one.
There's more in this one, and they definitely so whatever process they're using, they're highlighting that grain super flowy with that grain. Like it looks really good, but also very, and I think that's what's brilliant about using that Super 8 is that in the way of the texture of the film, you're able to kind of censor what you're showing in a way. It's almost like this filter so that you could show way more gore and blood and bad things happening on the screen without having to cut away or anything, because the texture of the film is
it's very strong,
so present,
yeah,
that it almost like censor. It doesn't censor anything that you're watching, but it almost puts a little covering over, so it's not as I guess clear, which I think is really cool, because I'm sure there's some scenes in this movie of that they're just straight up cutting up children, and it's like this could look like really brutal right now if it were not done with the Super 8.
Yeah,
and I mean it still looks really brutal with the Super 8. It looks great, how graphic it is, but I think with the fact that they shoot with such lower resolution of film, it looks cooler, and it also kind of is they're just able to kind of hide some of the imperfections in some of the stuff that they're shooting, and I just really like that.
Yes, it's also just sick. It looks fucking cool. Like that shit is awesome. So yeah, I love the style of the movie. The Frozen aesthetics are so good, so thematically fitting. Like everything is. What I like, the movie feels so complete. Like the movie feels so like locked in on what it wants to be and look like and do, and that doesn't affect whether someone's gonna like it or not. But it is what it is. It's like, this is the movie we're trying to make. This is what it's about. So this is why it has to look this way, sound this way. This is why, certain story decisions are made. I mean, like I said, we get some backstory on the grabber, and you were saying that the one thing that we did talk about in regards to the first one last night is that you were like, I just don't know if I buy Ethan Hawke.
I don't.
You don't?
I don't.
Why
no.
not?
So the thing is, I like the grabber. I think he's a cool villain. I love Ethan Hawke. Like, I like them separate by themselves. I think Ethan Hawke is an incredible. He's so knowledgeable on like literature, poetry.
Oh no, Ethan Hawke is
the acting itself. He's fantastic, and I think I align with a lot of the things that he believes in, and what he does as an actor, and I respect him a lot. I think he's such a level-headed person too, and I think that's the reason why I don't buy him as the
grabber has to be more insane.
Yeah, I think he's too
calculated.
No, he's too well put together as a person, and like through his head. Like even Ethan Hawke, like I don't think he could get like into the head of like a crazy person well enough to portray that. I think he's too level-headed to go to the truly the dark side of humanity.
I don't really
and I just don't buy it. I can't. I'm sorry. Ethan Hawke is great.
So maybe you just think he could intellectually understand what he's supposed to do, but
yes, but he can't
portray.
Physically do it because he's not that person. I'm not saying when you're an actor you have to be the person that you're portraying,
but you just don't see him as that person.
I can't get past it. It's like I can't see him, and he's doing a lot. He's really trying. I could say he's really trying. Like he's like with the voice, and like you could really see his emotions through his eyes when he has that top part off.
Yeah.
In this movie, when he takes the bottom part off, it's just like it's a really cool.
It rips off his face. Yeah.
Yeah. It's and I think it's real too. It's practical, and that's really cool. You can't really see much though of his acting when you do that, but in the first movie you could really sense that he's trying, like he's really going for it, but I just can't like I can't do it. I can't see it.
Well, I'm sorry that you feel that way. I love Ethan Hawke in these movies. I think So first of all, I agree with what you said about Ethan Hawke as a person. I do really love and respect him. He's one of my favorite actors, and I actually think that I actually have a rule that I've recently developed in my life where the only way, so I don't smoke in any capacity, but the only way I would smoke is if Ethan Hawke was in the rotation. If Ethan Hawke was in the blunt rotation, I would no fucking hesitation, I am taking a hit. That is literally, you can hold me to that. Put that shit on record. Quote me on that. If Ethan Hawke is in the room and we're smoking, it's time. That's the time I'm doing it. I don't care if I got work in the morning. I don't care if I'm going to have some crazy it's Ethan Hawke. And this is because I literally saw a video of him talking about how, like, you can't have a favorite Beatle because they all, like, work together. You need them all together. And he was like, having a favorite Beatle is like saying I have a favorite vascular of my heart. What the fuck does that even mean? Like, he's on a subway and he's talking about it. And I was like, he was like, you need to have John for this. But then when John starts doing this, that's when Ringo comes in or, like, whatever. He just has a great way of speaking about stuff. But that's when I noticed. That's when I realized. I was like,
no, he's great.
I'm only smoking with Ethan.
I do. No, I genuinely, I love the guy. Like, I would love to meet him. And I do feel bad saying this when I say that I can't see him as I feel like, in a way, it's almost a compliment because it's like you're too level-headed. You're too great. Like I could listen to this dude for days just talking about random shit, and I just can't get past the little hurdle of seeing him as the Ripper, or not the Ripper, the grabber. And so I don't know if that's necessarily a bad thing in terms of, like, my vision, my relationship with how I see Ethan Hawke or not, but I just feel bad because it's like I don't know. I just, like, I can't get over it.
Yeah, I feel you, bro. I just disagree.
I know
you do. I think that the grabber, I feel like the grabber has a strong sense of, like, purpose to himself that you're not always fully let in on, but that you can kind of just see. Like, for example, when they take off the mask, he gets so angry and freaks out. Like, he needs that mask to do what he's doing. Yeah. And so he has I think he just has modes. It's the same thing with the changing faces on the mask. Like, he just has, he's almost, like, so organized in the way he's like, when I'm wearing this, I'm this way. When I am dressed up like this, I'm this way. And when I'm in this environment, I'm this way. And, like, he has this you said a lot of serial killers are like that, but it's like, that's kind of where I think Ethan Hawke is good as the character, because he's really able to kind of show when he's angry, when he's calm, when he's, like, you know, willing to, I guess, extend an olive branch to one of his victims for some reason. Like, when he's like, I'm going to do this kindness. I'm going to show you how your mom died, you know, sort of thing. It's like, it's very interesting, the different headspaces that the grabber puts himself in.
I think he is a very interesting character. I think another thing, and this is probably maybe the reason why I can't see Ethan Hawke as the grabber as well as maybe you do, is just the motivation of the grabber. I don't necessarily understand why he's doing, like, you don't really have to be there doesn't really necessarily have to be a motivation for most serial killers. They just like doing it, or they have some kind of weird psychological thing where they think that they're either better than them or they're better than him, so they got to prove themselves by killing people. There's a lot of ways you could view how people, like, murder other people, and that's a very interesting psychology. That's why people love listening to, like, murder podcasts and trying to figure that stuff out. I guess with the grabber, with the first one and the second one, and maybe this is just all going over my head and I just didn't pick any of this up, but I just don't really understand his motivations for wanting to kill these boys.
So I don't think we should ever fully get, like, a concrete answer on that, because I do think it makes him scarier. But my interpretation of it is that, and this is what I thought when I saw the first one, and I think it's reinforced in the second one, is the way that he goes after kids, because kids are, as the writer elaborated on in the Q&A, Cargill, he said that the kids they're open and they're reaching out, and he wanted in this movie for that to be clear that they have power in their dreams too. Gwen has power in her dreams too. Finn can hear the phone ringing because something in his subconscious, you compared it to the sleigh bells in Polar Express.
Yes,
if you believe, you can hear it. It's like this openness. I mean, we see it with the camp counselor character Mondo can speak to the grabber over a radio in the scene right after he learns that it's his spirit haunting the camp. And he buys into it. Once you believe and you're open, you're able to kind of reach out to this other realm in small ways. And I think Gwen has a very strong connection to that because she's a very spiritual person. Yeah. And so the grabber goes after these specific people that are, kids are more open inherently. So I think he's trying to crush that because I think he denies that in himself. It's like he says in the first one, he's like, yeah, I heard it ringing one time, but I think it's just the static electricity that does it for the phone. Mm-hmm. And I think, but then at the end you see he does hear the spirits telling him like, this is the end of your life. So he's it's the people that are keenly aware of this other world that exists beyond their own that I think he's trying to sniff out. He takes out, because those are the people that in a way can actually catch him too, because Finn and Gwen's mom sees the vision and is able to find them. Gwen is able to find the boys' bodies in the other one, and I actually think that's really consistent because they find the boys' bodies in the first one at the end in the other house, and when they find the bodies at the end, we learn in the final scene in this movie that Robin is in heaven now, right? And I think those kids, because they hadn't been found and laid to rest, are in hell, and they're able to talk to Finn through the phone, and he's helping them by helping himself. And so in this movie, we that's the whole goal, is to find these boys' bodies so that they can fully go to rest, because the grabber's spirit is now with them and he can torment them. So they're trying, in a way, they're like a spiritual cleanup crew where they're trying to save these spirits from the bad, keep the good spirits and the bad spirits.
They're like a weird type of Ghostbusters.
Yeah, weird, but that's it's like Sixth Sense. It's like you're trying to kind of save these dead people and like have them gain their purpose. And
that was one of the, we were going to talk about some of the homages and like, and
let's do it. Let's do it.
Sixth Sense was like one of them. That because I was like, there's no way. She sees dead people.
Well, yeah, that has to be. Yeah. I feel like that's an homage in the first one.
Yeah,
like that goes back to the source.
But I think,
but also, here's the thing: it's written by Stephen King's son.
Yeah, there's a lot of
The Shining.
There's a lot.
The
Shining.
Kids Shine. Yeah.
There's a lot of, you could see
even in this one, the Shining, the snow.
Yeah,
they're in a snowy cabin aesthetic. Obviously, the summer camp. There's some I guess Friday the 13th.
Yeah, Friday
stuff.
the 13th.
There's
Nightmare on Elm
Freddy
Street.
Krueger stuff, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's also its own thing because it's so personal. That shines through, and I think that is part of the personality of the movie, is the fact that Scott Derrickson is such a horror fan and loves all these things and puts all these things together to basically do therapy, as you were saying.
I was thinking about this too, and I'm like, give it a few more years, and this is the type of movie that I think Chris Stuckman's going to be making. Like, this is what he wants to.
Well,
make,
I think Shelby Oaks is, in my opinion, I don't like Shelby Oaks as much as this film, but I do think Shelby Oaks is kind of doing this. It's like, this is all the stuff, he loves Shyamalan, and he loves Blair Witch, and he loves found footage, Lake Mungo, all this stuff. He puts it all together, and then he has this personal underbelly to it. The thing is, I think he even admitted he didn't notice the personal part until post-production.
Yeah.
I think if he was writing from that place very consciously,
it would have been,
he maybe could make something a little more singular and punchier than Shelby Oaks. And I am excited for what Chris does next. For that reason. I think there's also an homage to, I believe it's from the 80s, a film called Curtains that I've never seen, but that is where the grabber on ice skates comes from. Yeah. And that's confirmed.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either, but I've heard of it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's a sick visual.
Yeah.
I love it. I mean, they do kind of explain it. They're like, he was this guy named Wild Bill in the camp, and like he was a good skater, and he like Yeah, and I guess he murdered those kids in the camp, and those were maybe his first victims, I think.
Yeah, I believe those were, and that's why, it wasn't really laid to rest when they found all the other bodies in the first one, because there were still bodies missing
Yeah.
from the camp.
Yeah.
And so that's I don't think they should make a third one. Hopefully.
It doesn't set one up, so
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think it's, well, here's the thing. Scott also said, he was like, I'm not making this as a cash grab. I'm not trying to capitalize on the success of the first film or, make another. He was like, I was only going to make a sequel if I felt like we had a really good idea. And
Yeah.
he was like, I felt like this was a really good idea. And, so we decided to go for it. And they're very proud of the movie. So I think, if anything, they would have to have like a really good idea to even continue this. They're not just doing it for fun.
Yeah.
They're not just going to make... And that actually is kind of exciting, because maybe the next thing Scott Derrickson makes will be something different. And I do really like him. So, yeah, exciting stuff. I guess getting back into the themes of the movie, there's a lot of stuff with trauma, as we talked about. I think it plays into masculinity, given that the male characters in the movie, like the dad and Finn, are have a harder time. They kind of push things down a little more, whereas Gwen feels almost desperate to find meaning in what she's going through, because for her it's so direct. It's like, I'm literally dreaming and walking, like, what do these things mean?
Yeah.
And I love the faith stuff in the movie, because Scott Derrickson his faith is important to him. He is a very spiritual person, but he draws this clear line of, like, because horror movies are not considered to be something, like, a lot of Christian people don't like horror movies
because
unpleasant.
A lot of horror movies kind of take aim at Christianity or Catholicism or even Judaism. For some reason, it's always like around that realm.
Yeah, well, because that's a very clear good and evil, and there's demons and bad things, and I think Scott Derrickson takes a really great approach at it, because I believe he's Christian. I might be wrong about what specifically he identifies as, but I believe he's Christian, and in this movie he's kind of taking a stab at, like, these kind of people that use their faith in misguided ways. There's these two camp counselors. One of them is I believe her name is Maeve Beatty or something. She's in Beau is Afraid. She does the voice for the she plays Barbara in Black Phone 2, but she's in Beau is Afraid. She plays the voice of the play. She narrates it.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's really exciting for me.
Yeah.
I can't stop kidding. Anyway, yeah, so she and her husband are very Christian, and they, Gwen, like, criticizes them. They're like, you speak on things that are pleasant, and then she's like, no, that piece of scripture also says to speak on things that are just and true. Yeah. And she, cusses them out and, like, says, and I love the subversions in this movie of faith. It's like, hell is in flames, it's ice. Hell is not, where your problems burn and die. Hell is really when you let your problems freeze in your subconscious, and you let them take control over you and change you in bad ways. And, like, I think Scott Derrickson definitely understands that, because he, a lot of... I heard that this was in an interview, and correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sorry if I'm wrong about this, but I heard that he once said that his therapist told him, like, the childhood you had, you could have become a serial killer, like the way that this is. But when you're a lot of horror filmmakers, they understand these very dark things that go on in life, but they put it out into their art, and so it's kind of like that's the way of processing it.
Yeah. And
that's such a cool way of processing it, I think. And so I think Gwen is kind of an important character probably to him, because she is spiritual. She talks to Jesus. She prays, but
she's got a bad mouth on her.
Yeah, but she's also got a foul mouth. She is. One of my buddies on TikTok, LP Longmire, great content creator, said in his video on this movie, he said, Gwen is almost the horror genre embodied. She's like, she has this spiritual angle to her, but she is willing to cuss, and she doesn't turn her back to the evil things. So I think Scott Derrickson, that's how he kind of sees horror movies. It's like, no, it's not this, like, Christianity and faith doesn't have to be this, like, we pretend the bad things don't exist, because when you pretend they don't exist, they're able to continue. Yeah. And they don't die out. They don't get laid to rest. So, we need to confront them, and that's what the horror genre can do, and that's what Gwen does in this film. is she's able to kind of pull these people and hold these people accountable and be like, no, this stuff is real. There is really, like, if you're gonna believe in a heaven, you have to kind of believe in hell too. You kind of have to like understand that is that there is a real threat here. But no, they just think she's possessed by a demon instead of being in touch with she's more spiritual than anyone in the movie.
She's getting like attacked at both ends. Like, the very spiritual people are like, no, you're not it. And then the people that think she's crazy are just like, no, you're not. This is not it. You can't be well, these dreams are wrong. Like, you should hold it down. Keep it to yourself.
Yeah. So, and I think there's an idea in this movie that the three family members, like, that's what this is all about. The grabber is the representation of what torments their family, and that is why I think it makes perfect sense that he killed their mom, because he was there. It's like saying, it was already, the seed for your pain was planted right there, and he was already there, and you guys didn't even know about it. But when the dad walks into that garage and he says, "What have I done?" and he blames himself for it immediately, because he probably, didn't believe in her dreams the same way he didn't believe in his daughters, and he kind of uses that as the way of justifying why she's dead.
Well, the movie's just hurt people. It's like the cyclical thing, and like even when Mason tames his character Finn, after the whole traumatic episode of like being in the grabber's dungeon and getting out of it, he gets addicted to smoking pot. It's like his dad's addicted to alcohol,
right?
And there was obviously that big moment in the climax where Gwen finally like tells them both off, and then they all just kind of have a family moment where they're all just like kind of understanding each other for the first time. And that's when I knew. I was like, Scott, you're really putting yourself up on here for a second.
No, it's great. Like, and I love that it's like, they all have to be together in order to fully defeat the grabber. Like, everyone has to agree that this is a real thing and help each other. And I also think that's communicated in the way that Finn, when they're coming to the camp, it's all snowy, they can't see the road. Finn has to run in front of the car to get them, like, to even be able to see a little bit, and they barely make it. But then once the dad comes in, like, they're leaving and everything's clear, because they now understand, like, what they need to do to push forward, and they now kind of see each other better. So the world is a much clearer place. It's kind of a little simple metaphor for that. I also think that's why she's able to talk to her mom at the end through the phone. It's the only way that could have happened is right then, because she kind of now understands what happened to her mom fully, and she is able to fully reach out to her because she probably feels closer to her than she ever has in that time. I mean, having been the one that literally saw it in her dream, I think that might be why Finn can't quite hear it yet. But yeah. It all kind of, there's a way that the world of the movie makes sense with almost pretty much everything that happens by its own rules, and I like that about it.
I mean, I don't the biggest problems I've had, I think I've already kind of said them, and again, there were some points where it's like I just wasn't a fan of the style of dialogue that they were doing, but
I actually have a similar thing. My only complaint with the movie is the middle has like too much exposition. Like that scene when they're talking and they're kind of looking at photos and they're like, oh, like the grabber was here. Oh, like, I'm the guy that killed the grabber, and they make that connection. Like that scene, that's that one scene. I was just like, okay, we're kind of just throwing this all out in this one scene.
Yeah, and it just has a few of those like very not very, but somewhat cliche, studio horrorness to it. Like you have to have the big action-packed ending, and which is fine. It doesn't look like it looks fine. It's great. It's like it is what it is, and I mean it does what it does, and I think it accomplishes what it's trying to do. So I mean I can't really talk too much bad about it. There's not much I could say in terms of like not liking it, like to the I don't know, the movie's good. It didn't really, I guess, move me as much as maybe you did with the first movie, with your relationship with the first movie, and how.
Oh, I cried 3 times during the sequel. Like when I first saw it at Fantastic Fest. You know, one of the parts I cried at was literally just when the grabber first showed up in the movie, when you first see him and he's talking. It's a terrifying scene. It's one of the most brutal, because she's watching those kids in the cabin get fucking murdered at the same time, and she's getting like thrown around by the grabber in the kitchen at that one point. That was me. I was crying because I was literally so excited. I was just like, I'm with these characters. I love these characters. This is exactly what I wanted.
I was thinking about this watching the first one and also watching the second one, because I rewatched the first one the same day I watched the second one, just to kind of bring myself back up to date. And I was just thinking how much of a it just kind of sucks that I didn't see these movies at a younger age, because I felt like I would have liked these movies way more if I saw them when I was like 14.
Well, yeah, that's what I think is great, is that kids that are Finn and Gwen's age will love these, and they'll grow up to love
like
these.
This. Like, I felt like movies like Super 8, when that movie came out, like that was like perfect timing for me, because it's about these kids wanting to make a movie, and then they get caught up with supernatural stuff, and perfect. Like, this is basically a rated R version of that, but it's a serial killer. And if I saw this at the same time that I saw like Super 8 back in, I mean, they shoot in Super 8 with this movie, and it's like, it's the 70s. I love the 70s, like that kind of that. I love that nostalgia bait of it all, and the music, and just the atmosphere of it. I would have eaten this shit when I was 14, 15 years old.
Yeah,
this would have been my stuff right here.
I mean, I saw the first one when I was 19, so I was like almost there.
Yeah, so I'm not saying just because I'm older I can't like movies like these. It's just I feel like they don't touch me in the same.
They hit different when you're a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that for sure.
So I'm excited for all the other kids that watch. Well, hopefully you're old enough to process these movies.
Well, like this movie's for people Finn's age, like 17.
So when you're watching this, I hope people like it and relate to it and are able to take something out of it more than I did. But yeah, I just felt like these movies just came out just a little past my time.
Yeah. I love it. I love both of them. I think I like the second one a little more than the first one.
I think, just thinking back on it, I think I would probably revisit the second one more. But the first one's still great.
Speaking of Ethan Hawke and your whole thing, I wanted to mention this when we were talking about that. So I talked to C. Robert Cargill about this, and like it was the first time I had actually spoken to him. I've seen him in person so many times.
Yeah, we both saw.
You saw we saw him with The Gorge.
Yeah.
But also when I saw the Dangerous Animals Texas premiere, which was on the water, he was literally floating in a tube next to me. I was like, holy shit, C. Robert Cargill's right there. Anyway, I'd never actually walked up and said hi to him. I had talked to Scott, but I never talked to him before. And so I went up to him and I just said, hey, like, I just want to say, I've seen you a bunch of times. I've been here to this festival for 3 years. I've never, he's been to all 20 Fantastic Fests, by the way.
Jesus.
Yeah. But anyway, I was like, I've seen you, around all the time, but I've never actually introduced myself. And like, we shook hands and he was very, very nice. And like, I was just like, I just want to say I loved Black Phone, like I just told him, I was just so excited to return to that world that you guys made and the characters. And I love those characters like a lot. And, he was very, very nice about it. And I said something that I think might have thrown him off, because I was like, I love the way you built to the grabber coming back, because I think the movie really does take its time before the grabber really shows up. He's like, there's a little vision of him in the beginning when Finn's smoking some weed and he sees him across the yard or whatever. But like, other than that, there's this presence, but it's not, he hasn't like shown, I think you're like, maybe a good 50 minutes into the movie.
Yeah, it takes a while
before he actually pulls up, but it's perfect. I think it's perfect. And so what I said to him was, I was like, I just liked how you kind of in the first half used Ethan a little more sparingly and like built up. And I think he kind of like made a face when I said that. Like maybe he was thinking something like, no, dude, he's got like the same amount of screen time as the first one or like whatever. But that's not what I meant, Cargill. I just meant that you guys did a really good job building up to that moment.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just thought that was funny because he seemed like everything I was saying, he was like, thank you. And then he just kind of was like, Oh, really? Oh, okay. Sparingly. I don't know. I thought he was in the movie quite a lot. Like,
Well, but it's true. Like the first half of the movie, or the first like third, or whatever. It's like you really don't see him. Like he's like the presence is there because they're so traumatized by him.
right, but I think after you see him quite a bit.
Yeah.
And so I think that's why I think using the word sparingly might have been the wrong thing to say. Because it's like, he's kind of in the movie a lot. It's just that he's not in the first half as much as you might expect.
Yeah.
Like I said, it would have been a very easy to make a lame sequel to this, where it's like, everything's hunky-dory, and then, also, it's all about how you interpret. And I think that's important. When it comes to trauma in films, what I believe as a person is that what happened to you is unchangeable. It's how you interpret your story that you have your that's like where your power lies. What you make it mean informs what you become.
Yeah.
Right. It's so what you make something mean to you. I feel like everyone's experienced that to a degree. Like something happened to them, and they're like, this means that this is true about me, yeah. And they believe that, and it changes their whole life for the worse, or whatever. And so, in this movie, I see it as like there's a great moment where the dad is on the phone and he's thinking about coming to check on Finn and Gwen. Sees an ad on the TV for beer. Yeah. But the ad says, go for the mountains or reach for the mountains, something like that. Yeah. So it's like what could be a sign to him to freak out, panic, fall back into old habits. So, that temptation is there when he's in a stressed out moment to fall back into something, that used to, I guess, be a coping mechanism for him. But then he instead sees it as a sign to go help his kids. Yeah. And I think that is like the true essence of how a film should explore trauma. It's like you're
trying to grow from that moment. You're not trying to like let it haunt you and bring you down.
Yeah.
And I think that is a really good scene because exactly. It's like he could get the sense of being like, oh, this is a sign for me to drink alcohol,
because I'm
trying not to drink anymore. But instead, it's like, no, go get your children, and
actually face the problem instead of running away from it. And those are the two options we're met with so often in our life. So I just think that is a great microcosm of trauma in a horror movie that works really well. So do you think there's anything else we want to cover with this film?
No, I think we both kind of said how we feel about him. You obviously liked it way more than I did, but I didn't dislike it. I liked it quite a bit. I just wasn't as, passionate.
Basically exactly what every movie happens. I don't
think it's every movie. I think it's like very specific movies.
You're right. I just remember you coming home from the movie last night and being like, I think you liked it. I think you liked it a lot.
And I was right.
Well, why did you think? Because but bluntly, like, why did you think that? I'm curious.
Because I just knew, like, with all the themes in it, and like you were just gonna love how it goes in different directions that most horror movies don't go into, and how how sincere the movie.
Yeah, you were like, this is corny as shit. He's gonna eat this up.
It wasn't necessarily corny. Like the performances are so good that it's like you got it. It's like, damn. I get. Is great.
I'm just joking. It's like it's the like very.
But it's that sincerity which I definitely knew. I was like, yeah, Peyton's gonna eat this stuff up right here.
It was exactly what I wanted. I was so excited to see this at Fantastic Fest. It was like the movie that I wanted to see the most out of all of them. And it delivered. Great film. So, top 10 horror sequels. So we have this little game we want to play first, which is, first of all, this is the rules, okay? Yeah. It has to be a second installment in honor of Black Phone 2, and also because it's overwhelming if we don't do that. This doesn't mean we like these movies better than their original counterparts. It just is our top 10 horror sequels that are number 2s for their franchise.
Yeah. Some of these might be better than the original.
Maybe. Some of these we might have that opinion, but otherwise, there's there's exceptions. It's It's just our top 10 of that we threw together of like number twos. That's I guess the only rule. I guess also another one is that if the franchise as a whole is not horror, but the second one is a horror movie, it doesn't count. Like, it has to be the sequel to another horror movie, for example. Well, like, so the way I rationalize that, I think, is that if we were to do top 10 action sequels in the same way, and would you include Aliens? Because that's not really a sequel to an action movie, but it is an action movie.
That is kind of hard if you were to say top 10 action movie sequels.
Well, okay, so the reason that I think that is a rule is basically because I was like, should I include Split? Because that's a sequel. The original is not a horror movie, but Split is a horror movie. But it's a horror movie and it's a sequel, but it's not a sequel to a horror movie. And I didn't include it because I was like, that just doesn't feel right.
Yeah, that is a bit of an
It's kind of sandwiched between two like intimate thrillers, but it's like it's like a Blumhouse horror movie at the same time.
Yeah.
So that's honorable mention for me is Split.
Okay.
So anyway, we want to do this game, Guaranteed 2, where we basically are going to throw at each other 2 that we're like fucking certain are in each other's lists because that's fun. You wanted to do 3, but I think 2 is a better number because I don't want to give away too much.
Okay.
So for me, I can guarantee that you have Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 and Evil Dead 2 in your list.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, what about you?
I think this is gonna be kind of like a little. You're gonna slip this in, but I think Dr. Sleep. Is one of them. Is it? Is it? Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah. And I was actually kind of nervous about picking this one because I was like, maybe not, but Terrifier 2?
It's in there.
Yeah.
I thought that would be a surprise.
Yeah, no, because, I mean, you love Terrifier movies, so I was like...
I love Terrifier, but I like the second one the best. So,
yeah.
Okay, so let's get into... So this is... Mine is ranked. I don't know if yours is ranked.
I didn't really rank it.
Mine is ranked to my best ability. I can't really... when you're ranking movies, it could change on an hourly basis, but this is what I felt like this morning. So,
also, this was very fast research for me, so there's probably movies that I definitely forgot and didn't put it on here.
I agree. I just went through my letterbox, looked at horror, looked at highest rated, and kind of picked out 10 from that fall into the criteria. So
yeah.
Okay, I guess I'll start. My number 10 is Insidious Chapter 2.
Oh, yeah, you do look. Yeah, I haven't seen that one.
Better than the first
one.
Have
not seen that one.
It does like some Shining Jack Torrance shit with Patrick Wilson. People think that's sacrilegious to say it's better than the first one. I don't care. I think it's better than the first one. I just think it's a much cooler movie. Like, Insidious is a cool movie, but this is a very cool movie. Like, I think it loosens up the rules for sure.
Cooler?
Yeah, because in the first movie, you spend a lot of time learning the rules of the movie, which is necessary. But in this movie, you already kind of know what's up. And so when you watch this, it's like, I'm just like, oh shit, they're just like taking this and they're just going with it. They're just like making the rules, like they're just kind of going bananas with it. And there's another movie on my list that reminds me a lot of Insidious 2 in the same way that we'll get into. What is your number 10?
Number 10, I was kind of wondering if this counted or not. Because sometimes there are horror movies where there's like several different sequels. It's like, oh, this is a sequel, but then they'll have like another movie come out and be like, no, this is like a direct sequel to the first movie or something like that.
I see.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't even know if this is a sequel, a spin-off, or whatnot, but I put Blair Witch, which is a sequel to The Blair Witch Project.
Oh, interesting.
But there's technically a Blair Witch 2, I believe. But I don't know if people love that one as canon. So I don't know if that's canon.
We'll allow it.
So I'll just say Blair Witch.
Do you have honorable mentions, by the way?
Yeah. It was kind of a bit of a toss up, but yeah, Jeepers Creepers 2. Just saw that last night.
We watched it last night, except I fell asleep.
You fell asleep.
I fell asleep. I was too tired. I'm sorry. I'll watch it later.
Very problematic director with that movie. That's why I didn't really want to put it in my top 10 because that would be kind of weird. But man, do I love that. I love that movie so much. It's so I can't even tell you why. It's so funny and weird, and like it's weirdly racist, but it knows it's racist. It's
what
weird.
The fuck?
It's like because one of the main characters is like flat out racist, basically. Like they call it out and whatnot, but it's like, dude, that's crazy. There's like.
I remember that slightly in between. Like I was like in another plane of existence
Dude,
watching
and
that.
there's like some homophobia in it.
I was sleeping. I would wake up and some crazy shit would be happening. Then I'd go to sleep. I'd wake up. Their cars were crashing and shit. I was like, holy fuck, this is crazy. I wish I was actually conscious.
So crazy, and like there's some crazy problematic stuff in it. Bizarre. There's a bunch of actors that you just never see ever, except for Ray Wise, who plays like the older dad. It's a fun movie that just. It's crazy. Just crazy stuff happening in the movie. You don't really care too much about the characters. Things just happen.
Any
and
other
it's super
honorable
fun.
mentions for you?
Gremlins 2. Great. I guess
never
it's
seen it.
I guess it's more of a comedy horror.
I wish I'd seen that. I feel like that would be on my list.
Gremlins 2. Yeah, I think you'd love Gremlins. But it's like
I have a DVD of Gremlins 2 now.
Yeah, I have a Blu-ray of it. But yeah, it's like this weird meta sequel where it's so self-aware about what it is, what it's trying to accomplish. It's great. It might even be better than the first one, but I kind of go back and forth. And another honorable mention is Conjuring 2.
Okay.
I think it's better than the first Conjuring.
I agree.
And my theater experience with that movie was just so fun. Like there was a bunch of girls behind us sitting down, and every time something scary would happen, they would just go nuts. They would scream and everything.
Nice.
And usually that stuff might bother me, but with this movie, it was just so perfectly timed that the reactions of everybody just like it didn't bother or concern itself with like the pacing of the movie. So it was just really fun, just like to have that experience watching that movie. I don't know how I'd feel watching it again, actually. It's been a while. But I remember just loving that experience.
So your number 10 was
Blair Witch.
Blair Witch. Is there any other...
Oh, yeah, well, I wanted to kind of explain why, because I know a lot of people would be like, that's a pick?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Because, as you know, I'm a huge Adam Wingard fan, and Simon Barrett, who... wrote the film, and I just think they are so dryly self-aware with what they do, and I think it just goes over a lot of people's heads. Like the movie in itself kind of feels satirical for the genre of movie that it is, like the found footage kind of stuff, which they're kind of known for being with their whole VHS anthology film. They also did the second one as well. So they're kind of used to that format, and yet they put this scary twist on it where it's like the characters are basically saying the problems that are happening. There's a part I think there is a part in the movie where they're like, we got to split up or something, and someone's like, what? What?
That's funny.
I don't necessarily know if that's what they said, but they're aware that they're in this crazy, terrifying situation in which they're basically lost in the forest. They don't know how to get out. Time is past slipping through in and out. There's like things in the trees, and you never see anything. And I don't know. It was really fun, and actually genuinely like kind of like the ideas that it brings up are quite scary about like a situation of being lost in the woods. Very different from the first movie, and I don't know. It just I love what they do with their stuff. It almost feels unrelated to the first movie. It kind of is unrelated to the first movie, but that's also what makes it great. It's not kind of too attached. I don't know. I really like Blair Witch.
No,
Have you seen it?
I haven't. So I really have. I get no judgment. I mean, I know a lot of people hated it, but
oh yeah, so many people hated it, and I had to defend it a little bit, and then I would rewatch it and be like, "No, this is great."
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I have any terribly hot takes in mind, but my number 9 is Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
Nice.
What is your number 9?
Oh, you're not.
Oh well, I felt like since it's on your list, we'll get it to it, but I guess I can talk about it now.
Yeah, we could just talk about it now,
and then we can just skip over it later. But Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 is very much it's another movie that's just very different from the first one. It's so funny. It's so funny. I do think it kind of, the Dennis Hopper stuff gets a little repetitive at a certain point, but other than that,
I don't know. I think that stuff's the best part because it's like, who is this guy? Why is he here? Right
sure. I that's how I felt. I've only seen it once.
Yeah.
But maybe I'll feel differently on rewatch. But I think it's still amazing. Tobe Hooper just making a completely different fucking movie. It's absolutely wild. I love the scene at the beginning in the, what is it, record store or something?
They're
a radio station?
Yeah, radio station. Something
like that. Yeah, and just the tension in that scene of that weird guy and, like, I forget his name.
The one
who throws up the peace sign.
Yeah, that's, I don't remember it was like I forgot, but he has like a piece of metal in his head.
Yeah, he's like, get that bitch, Leatherface. It's like
that happens like halfway through the movie.
Yeah, well, but it felt pretty early to me.
No, that happens like
the movie's pretty short.
It's like at the start of like the second act, I think.
Anyway, the shit is wild. It's just a ride that's just like having a bunch of fun with itself.
It's super fun.
And I just think that movie has so much, like, it is a perfect movie to put on in your Halloween party. I think it's a great one to throw on.
Actually, yeah, that's a really
arguably just as good as the first one, but the first one has more of a build-up to, like, a really great climax.
Yeah.
Whereas this one, it's like, you could look at that screen every 20 minutes while you're eating a fucking charcuterie board and you're getting drunker. And as you just keep looking back at the screen, something completely fucking different is going on. And I just think that's a great house party Halloween night flick to put on. So one of the best horror sequels because it's so different.
I always had this theory that there are two types of Texas Chainsaw movies. There's the ones that take itself too seriously and the ones that don't. And Tobe Hooper's 2 are kind of like symbolic of just like how the franchise would go on.
Well, but I also think that the first one, there's some serious shit in it, but I also think the first one has some pretty funny stuff.
Oh yeah, the first one's hilarious too. Like the first movie was really the accumulation of everything that happened in like the 70s. Like all the terror of the government just failing, like with Nixon and all, the Vietnam War, just this, I don't know, it was just this feeling of dread that they were having, and these hippies just kind of going about just trying to go about their day, and all the horror happens, like a lot of it, like the scary stuff happens like in the middle of the day. It was doing a lot of different stuff with it. It was really trying to be like Psycho, but not. It was kind of the start of the slasher movies of like the 80s. It was kind of like the perfect horror movie. And then to make a sequel to that is kind of a hard thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Because in a way Tobe Hooper just kind of invented that movie, like invented a genre in a way.
Mm-hmm.
There have been some slashers beforehand,
in my opinion, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original, is the best slasher of all time.
I agree.
Yeah.
The contenders would be like maybe Halloween or Scream, but Texas Chainsaw like every time I watch it, I'm just like, this is a brutally perfect movie.
And I think Scream, while it is a masterpiece, obviously it's a
learning.
Meta
It's taking a lot from the classics.
That's not a complaint about the movie. That is the movie. It's like they're taking a meta angle on the slasher film. But to me, the characters in Scream are so great and so memorable. But I just think that Texas Chainsaw just has that all killer, no filler, fucking rawness to it, and it's like
a vile movie.
It's dirty. I just love it.
It's dirty, grimy. The 70s.
We have the whole setup behind us and the VHS.
It's so a movie that I feel like I could smell.
Yeah.
And it smells terrible.
Yeah, there's certain movies like that.
But to do a sequel to that, like several years later, crazy. And it's written by the guy who wrote, what's his name? I forgot, but he wrote Paris, Texas. You know,
It is
Wim Wenders' great
L.M.
film.
Kit Carson.
Yes, and wow, what this movie's just so different. And the thing with the Tobe Hooper, with this movie, he wasn't trying to do the same thing over again. He was trying to change it up, try to be another satirical film about the 80s instead of a horror movie about the 70s. And so this is just a movie making fun of the consumerism, the marketing of the 80s, everything that was rightfully kind of scary about the 80s, and yet making it more lively and entertaining. He kind of flipped the first movie on its head with all the subtext of the 80s culture. Like it's actually quite fascinating, because at the time a lot of horror movies, there was a lot of horror sequels coming out. That's why they wanted to make a Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. You had horror sequels for, like, you know, Friday the 13th, Halloween, and they're always trying to up the ante and make it more brutal and like sexier and crazier. And Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 is like, okay, well, let's do that, and let's do that to almost an exaggerated amount. Like the first one's actually fairly realistic, and it's what it's doing. Like with a lot of these slasher movies, they kind of go a little bit more into like supernatural kind of stuff, but with Texas Chainsaw, it's literally a bunch of, like, a family of cannibals, which people are out there like that. And it takes a lot from the, like, Ed Gein.
Yes.
Very popular right now with the show Monsters. Show's
Also
not accurate
very,
at all.
Apparently not accurate at all. But there's also an episode we just did last week on Dressed to Kill and Psycho, and that's kind of inspired. So go watch that. Yeah,
so he's Ed Gein inspired Psycho and Texas Chainsaw. So it's more rooted in realism than obviously Texas Chainsaw 2 is, because it's trying to do the same thing that all 80s sequel horror movies are trying to do, and that's trying to make it bigger, badder, crazier, more violent. And I think Tobe Hooper just does that to an extreme amount, just kind of calling out just how absurd movies have become in terms of the horror sequel-ness of it all.
Yeah.
And I think it's great. I think we could talk a lot about that movie, actually.
We might do an episode later on it.
But yeah, that was my ninth.
Well, that was my ninth.
That was your ninth.
Ninth
yeah, no. I was like, wait a second, where are we right now?
So what's your ninth?
My ninth is, and I was going back and forth, but I think my ninth.
Well, you don't. I mean, if yours is not in order, you can just throw them out. But
that's true. I'm just gonna go random right now. I'll just since it's also in yours, I'll say Terrifier 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I think it upgrades so much from the first movie that it's one of the greatest sequels of all time.
It has to be.
In a way, it's one of the greatest sequels of all time.
When you like really leverage it against the first one. Because a lot of people think, and even fans of the series think, that first movie is bad. I don't think it's bad. I actually kind of like it. And I
just don't think it was like developed well enough yet.
Well,
he
but
perfected it like with the second.
Yeah, they really did make it better, and I mean the second one it's like overindulgently long, and I kind of love that about it. I know that
is one of the things I don't love about it is how long it is, but other than that, I think the movie is just like, wow, like what are you doing?
Saw
this
that
is
shit
crazy.
So late at night with my friend Philip, and it was such a fun late night movie experience. Like, it totally surprised me. Like, I had never even. I think I watched the first one before just to prepare for it, lore wise, because there is lore to the movies. But just I just love it. It thrives itself on being brutal and disgusting, and the gore is really good, and it's like just like the movie is overindulgently long. It's like almost like Art the Clown made the movie, because he wants that shit to fucking hurt. He is literally a sick motherfucker. Like the way he chops someone up in this famous like bedroom scene and then runs out, and then fucking 10 seconds later comes back with bleach and salt.
It is one of the funniest parts too. It's hilarious how crazy it is. It's like, I can't believe you were trying to hurt someone that badly.
Yeah. Like, and it's insane. It gets to a ridiculous degree. And I like that it's a brother-sister story. I like the kind of it does like a synth kind of retro vibe to it. It's very colorful. Lauren Lavera is a very cool person, and very good in the movie too. I like that she's kind of the head of the franchise now. Yeah. Along with Art the Clown, and I like that they've kind of incorporated her into the lore. I liked the third one too, but this is my favorite of the three.
Yeah, no, I would say it's my favorite too of the three.
Really, I feel like you said otherwise when the third one came out.
The third one, but I think when I think back on it, I think more fondly of the second one. Again, I would have to rewatch these movies. Yeah. But I just always remember that scene in the second one and just being like, that is the craziest thing I've ever seen in a horror movie. Yeah. At that point, I was like, that's crazy. Like, it's so funny and so messed up. Like, who would have thought?
Yeah, you just got to take it to the extra mile, sometimes. Yeah. Well, fun. That's my number 8. So okay. We already talked about it. So cool. What's your number 8? I guess what's your next one?
I guess this will also maybe surprise you, but it's Dr. Sleep.
Wow. We're the same guy.
I do. The thing is, Dr. Sleep, to do a sequel to The Shining, to Kubrick's Shining, as along with Stephen King's Shining, is so hard.
And adapting King's sequel.
It's like this could have been really bad. This could have been really bad. But what they do with it is so good. Like they make it its own thing, but they also go back and they revisit the original Shining from the Kubrick film, and they also integrate the stuff from the book that Stephen King wanted, and it's just a perfect marriage of like everything, and it is what it needed to be.
Yeah, I mean, I love it because I love this movie because it is it is very much about addiction, alcoholism, generational trauma in that way. I actually told Mike Flanagan when I met him that was why I loved it, and that the movie was very important to me for that reason. And he put his hand on my shoulder and he was like, "Me too. Thank you so much for telling me that." And he's just Mike Flanagan is an extremely wonderful person. He's incredibly kind. It's like if you watch Life of Chuck, that's like him. Like that's kind of his worldview is very beautiful, and that's why I think horror directors are often like the sweetest, nicest guys. You look at Guillermo del Toro. I mean, that man is adorable. Ari Aster is kind of adorable too in a way. Anyway, I think that Dr. Sleep. I've talked about it before, I think, but yeah, it is. For a while, I mean, I don't know if I would say this anymore, but for a while I was like being like, that's my favorite horror movie. Yeah. Like that is my favorite horror movie. I don't really know if I would give like a singular title to, because horror can capture a lot of different things, but for a while that's kind of, like it's ostensibly my favorite horror movie. And I remember telling our roommate Reed that for the first time. He was like, "That's like actually insane. That's like actually insane. How is that even possible? That's like actually insane." I think like the next day he was still talking about it.
Yeah, he just couldn't fathom that being your favorite.
That was his first. That was, I think, when we truly met.
Yeah,
I think that was when me and him truly.
That's when he truly understood who you were.
He truly started to get to know who I was. Yeah. He was like, "Oh, this guy likes film, cool." And then he's like, "Dr. Sleep, of all time, what do you mean? How is this possible?" And his mind opened that there can be someone that fucking ridiculous. Anyway, Dr. Sleep. I love it. I don't know if there's anything I could really say about it that I haven't already said, but
it's very personal.
It's just a very personal movie. It has really great performances. I love Kylie Curran. I wish she was in more stuff that's not Flanagan. The young girl in the movie,
Yeah.
Rebecca Ferguson,
So good.
I mean,
Oh.
she's incredible. It's like my favorite role of hers. I think every scare is incredibly creative in that movie and genuinely frightening.
Yeah,
I
when
love
they kill the kids, it's like, wow, they're doing it.
Yeah, I love the way that, but also, yeah, the scene where like Rebecca Ferguson's floating over the world. Like, there's just a lot of great visuals in that movie. It's so imaginative, and the way that the way that it almost it becomes this very epic kind of showdown at the end, but it's all still very intimate at the same time and character driven. The homages to The Shining are done very tastefully. It's not overdone. It kind of earns it. It's this long journey to getting back to the hotel at the end, and you have the recasting of Jack and Wendy, which I think was done really, really well. And it's not like they're not doing some de-aging. They're just going to recast the characters because the imagination.
It's great too.
I love when you are able to recast characters like that well. I think it works a million times better.
Who would have thought Henry Thomas? As Jack Torrance.
But it works a million times better when you do something like that versus, I think, de-aging a character because. It takes you out a little bit when you can tell a character is de-aged, whereas if it's a real person that's drawing from real things in their performance and like trying to get into the mind of the character. I mean, not saying that the de-aging isn't a real person. It still often is.
People they're like slowly losing their imagination.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. The imagination is more powerful, I think, than any CGI de-aging. You know, to transport you into that character again. So I feel when that bar scene at the end with Henry Thomas, I'm like, that's Jack Torrance. I feel that's Jack Torrance. I don't have any problem seeing that because even though he's different, I also know that I'm watching a movie from 2019. And so it there's a different flavor to this movie as well. So it all kind of just, you know, you could easily say that that's kind of the way that the hotel interprets him and puts him in, and as a spirit to show to Danny. So, yeah, I love the ending of the movie. It's perfect. I think the movie's a masterpiece. Anyway, my number 7 is The Conjuring 2.
Okay.
Which we already spoke about. So for me, The Conjuring 2, better than the first one. It's not James Wan's best film. That's Malignant.
Probably,
I love Malignant. But The Conjuring 2, I think, it's very lovely in a way. It's about love and family, and I think it's very cute. The Warrens were bad people in real life. But, I love the portrayal of these kind of, I guess, character versions of them by Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson. They're great. And I think The Conjuring 2 is not a movie I think about a lot, but whenever I go back and rewatch it, I'm like, oh, wait, yeah, this is amazing. It's so good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's it. What about you next?
Okay. I kind of missed an honorable mention, but I'll kind of say 2
You're going to
movies.
lump it in?
So, you guys can guess which one was the honorable mention and which one wasn't. But Smile 2 and Hostel 2.
Hostel 2 is the honorable mention.
We'll never know. We'll never know.
Oh, that's actually one that was supposed to be one of my honorable mentions. Yeah, that would be like 11, I think, for me.
But yeah, Smile 2, just like, oh my God.
You're literally not going to tell me? That's fucked up.
No.
That's fucked up.
But yeah, but these 2 movies, they, in their own different ways, they add to the lore and like make it so much cooler. And like, I don't know, like, so let's just go one by one. Smile 2, so good. Naomi Scott.
That was the movie I was going to compare to Insidious 2. Because it takes the rules of the first one and it just goes bananas.
Yeah.
Kind of loosens them a little bit and it just goes bananas.
And it's truly like scary. Like the scene in which they're all in her room and they're like following her.
Yeah, the interpretive dance smilers.
And like just the idea that she doesn't know if it's real or not. Like is this real? Is this happening? Am I taking over or am I with the monster? Is the monster in the room?
And there's some genuinely good fucking music in it too.
It's good. It's great. It's the
Naomi
that first scene with the Kyle Gallner. Oh my God!
Yeah, the like long take.
It's so incredible.
When the movie started and that was what started with, I was like, oh my God.
It's great.
This, like, wow, they really just, the love and care put into this is crazy. Parker Finn is great.
The first one like was a surprise. I was like, wow, this is really good. This is a really good, solid, original horror movie that I haven't seen before, like this type of movie before. And then the sequel just like, I was like, yeah, this is great. This director, like, I can't wait to see what he does next.
Yeah, it's so good. I love Smile 2. Shout out to my friend Dylan. Smile 2 is literally like his favorite thing in the world.
Good for him. It's great.
Yeah, from my friend Dylan from Slash Reviews, who, by the way, got his quote is being used a lot for Black Phone 2 marketing. He called it a cold-blooded masterpiece, and that has been plastered. It's on a billboard in Times Square.
Nice.
He actually went to New York and took a picture with it. It's in like all these Instagram ads I keep seeing. It's like his quote is everywhere. So good for him.
Cool.
Very cool. So
Hostel 2.
Hostel 2.
First one's great, fun, funny. I like these these kind of like almost like borderline like terrible like horrific things that happen to people are just funny to me because it's like, this is crazy. Like,
well, yeah, because it's a movie.
Yeah, but Hostel 2 just like adds to so much of the lore of the first one. You have so many questions like, what is this secret society where people just torture other people and kill them for fun?
I love how it flips it.
Yeah,
you're following someone trying to kind of do that.
I love I guess you could call it a twist if you want, but you basically follow a guy who's like kind of put up to do this thing that he's like throughout the movie he's just like, I don't know if I could do it or not.
It almost plays it like a guy trying to score with a girl.
Yeah,
like he's like, how do I like get, like, it's like almost like he's getting wingmaned into this like torture thing.
Yeah,
it's actually insane. The way they do it is insane.
And I just, it's brutal, and you know, love him or hate him, Eli Roth, he makes some brutal stuff and some really interesting.
I would love to meet Eli Roth.
Yeah, seems very interesting. He's got some opinions on things.
Well,
like,
but Knock Knock is so funny. I love when Keanu's like, it was free fucking pizza. It was hilarious. It's amazing.
But yeah, no, I do love Eli Roth's movies quite more than most people do.
Yeah, Thanksgiving was fantastic.
So good.
Love that movie.
I think they're doing a sequel, right?
Yeah. Maybe. I don't know. I can't remember.
I think they were in talks for doing a sequel.
Yeah, I can't remember. But I loved Thanksgiving. I love Hostel 2 as well. I would put it in an honorable mention. That was actually one where I'm like, oh, should I have put that in number 10 instead of Insidious? But fuck it, we're already
They
here.
also kill off the main character of the first movie in the sequel in the very beginning.
Yeah,
it's like you don't
kind of do that in Smile 2 as well as one of the main characters.
Yeah. That's true. No, that was a good team up right there.
Yeah, very great job. But I also think in Hostel 2 there's a fucking scene with a scythe and the girl's hanging upside down. It's the craziest, most disgusting fucking shit. I actually remember watching this and being like, that's like, I couldn't believe it. Remember we watched Venom, Hostel, Venom 2, and then Hostel 2 in the same night. It was the weirdest little fucking pairing of movies, but like, we couldn't decide. I was like, well, the new Venom's coming out. I want to see these Venom movies again. And you were like, yeah, but I feel like we should watch Hostel. Like, I'm kind of in the mood. I was like, what if we just did? And that's how we got the idea for dual directors. Yeah. Like, going back and forth, you know? Anyway, my next was actually Smile 2. So that works out.
Okay.
But I actually also have kind of two that I couldn't decide which one to put above the other. And so it was Smile 2 and Black Phone 2.
Okay.
And so, honestly, we just skip right over that because we talked about both of those movies.
All right.
What is your number 4?
1, 2, 3, 4. This is... I thought we're at 1, 2,
well, because I did...
4.
Okay, I had Insidious, Texas Chainsaw, Terrifier, Conjuring, Smile, Black Phone. That's 6.
4, 5... Why am I... Did I just...
Did you count wrong?
There's no way.
What do you mean?
Okay, well... Oh, it's because we talked about Texas Chainsaw already.
Yeah.
So, Texas Chainsaw was gonna be the one before this one, the one after this one, but I got it all mixed up. But I'll just say Scream 2.
Okay.
Scream 2. That's gonna be the next one we talk about, because though I don't think it's better than the first one, it's such a solid sequel, and it talks about the sequels of horror movies.
I feel like I could have definitely like put that in if I watched it again, because I've seen it once and I feel like I would like it more if I watched it. It's
so good. I think honestly all the Scream movies are just pretty great. They're even the bad ones, the bad ones in parentheses,
in quotes.
In quotes, are good. Are like pretty solid. They're like fun. But I think the second one is like really interesting because it doubles down on the meta-ness of like a sequel movie, of a sequel horror movie, of the color coming back to get Nev Campbell's character, Sydney, and I just love it. I think it's actually a pretty great sequel, and yeah, again, not I think the original is like the best, and it's like it's never gonna be top, but the second one's a good horror sequel.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I probably agree. I just don't remember it well enough.
Yeah.
My number 4 pick is 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Okay, that's my third.
So that would be next for you.
So yeah, you want to get into it?
Yeah. This movie is like, people say the ending is like the worst part because that's where it becomes a Cloverfield movie, but I actually like the ending a lot. Yeah. I think it all works. I love what's his name? John Gallagher Jr. is in it. He's also in Hush. He was in quite a few movies for a while.
Yeah.
And then I just kind of haven't seen him in a minute. But he's really good in it.
Yeah.
I love Mary Elizabeth Winstead in it, and John Goodman it's like, besides Big Lebowski, it's like my favorite performance.
He's so good. Like you wouldn't think that he would have any more in the tank for like his range of an actor, but no, that movie comes out and you're like, oh my god.
Yeah, he's very like scary in this movie.
It's like, Sully, what have you done?
Yeah.
But also it's not I guess a direct sequel, which I guess is
it's
iffy.
Not. It's not in the same universe, but we also agree that doesn't have to be the case for this to work. Like, I think it is the second one. It is doing the Cloverfield thing, and it is like, I think most of the movie works because of the tension of not knowing whether or not John Goodman is right about stuff, and then you kind of get so. Well, what's so impressive about the film is that you get so much evidence to either contrary that it's like, what is actually happening?
Yeah.
Here? What, like, the mystery is ripe the entire movie until the very, very end, and I think that's why people were disappointed, because you get an answer. But the thing is, you don't really get an answer.
You get an answer to the questions that you ask, honestly, throughout the movie, because you're wondering, is he like some serial killer, some like kidnapper, some dude, some creep? The answer is yes.
Yes.
But you also ask, is there?
But he's also right. He's
also right.
He's unhinged, but he's correct about these things. So it's like very interesting the way that it's able to play with both of those things, because you kind of assume, you could make an assumption that they're mutually exclusive, where it's like either he's crazy or he's right about this. No, he can be crazy and right about this. And that's what the movie plays with the whole time, is your suspicion. And your bias towards whether or not being right about this thing justifies the things he's actually doing. So it's a very entertaining, just like gripping film from start to finish. I showed it to my sister, and she was like the whole time fully invested, and then by the end she was like, I hated that movie. She was like, I really was interested in what was happening, but I hated that shit. But she and my mom, they don't like horror movies. It's just
I
not
think
their
when
thing.
you hate a movie, that's such a strong opinion that it's like, you got to think to yourself, I guess that's what the movie was trying to make me feel. And so it technically makes it a good movie.
Yeah, I mean, I think in some ways that's like the new Yorgos Lanthimos movie Begonia, which I've seen twice now. I was just like, wow, like, thanks, I hate it. Like, it's like, oh, this is like so sad because it reminds me of things that are real,
Yeah.
but also it's so well done. You know.
Yeah. I still haven't seen it.
The Long Walk is another one.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like, God, this is so upsetting, but I know it's supposed to be. It's so good. That was a great movie. Anyway.
Dan Trachtenberg, Badlands coming out pretty soon.
Yeah, Predator Badlands.
I'm pretty excited for it.
I'm very excited.
I still haven't seen the animated one that he did.
Yeah, he's just the Predator guy.
Yeah,
it's great.
At this moment, he's just like Fede Alvarez. You could have aliens.
I wonder if it's still Dane in the Predator outfit in this new one, because in Prey, Dane DeLegro plays the Predator in Prey, and I've hung out with him a few times, and now I want to know if he was in the new one. I should have asked him that. I just saw him like last month.
Also, fun fact about Cloverfield 10 Cloverfield Lane is that Damien Chazelle is a writer on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's
I actually
co-writer.
did not know that at all.
Yeah. Well, it was. I think the original script was by 2 writers, and it was not supposed to be part of the Cloverfield like universe.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just a really good spec script that I think JJ like found and bought out, and then he was like, we could turn this into a Cloverfield movie, which they did, and then they got Damien Chazelle to kind of do some rewrites on it, and then he was credited as a writer for it.
I did not know that.
Pretty sick, pretty cool, pretty awesome.
Yeah. That was your next one too?
That was my third, I guess.
Third? Okay, well, I guess I don't know if we went out of order here at some point, but my third is Bride of Frankenstein.
Okay, yeah.
Is that on your list?
No.
Wow.
The thing is, I do love Bride of Frankenstein a lot. I think the music is fantastic, so great. It looks great. I mean, James Wales is doing what he does, which is just like this great gothic feel of these like older sci-fi horror movies like Frankenstein, obviously, and like The Invisible Man. But I just think the first one's more iconic to me personally. It's the one.
That's fair.
It's the one that I watch on like Halloween every.
Well, that's
or
fair.
Like try to watch every. And I think I always feel like I can't watch Bride of Frankenstein before watching or without watching Frankenstein before it.
You know what's also great about this is that we have Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein coming out here in a minute.
Yeah.
And we also have Maggie Gyllenhaal's Bride movie coming out soon, which I think has Jake Gyllenhaal in it too. She's directing her brother.
Yes.
And Christian Bale, and that's going to be great, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, interesting that it's that, and then there's also we have another pair of Frankenstein interpretations coming up. But yeah, Bride of Frankenstein, I agree with what you said. I think it's I do like it better than the original Frankenstein. I just think it just has. I think it's just the way that I guess filmmaking had evolved between the two movies. It might not be a huge gap, but there is like the mini people and the jars are fucking really fun, and like everything about the movie just is wondrous. It's just like I have such a sense of like awe for that film that I didn't quite get with any of the other Universal monster movies I've watched. So to me, that this was the one, and I saw it in theaters, which was really cool. I love just the look of everything. The bride is such a cool
classy
character. So yeah, it's just to me it's just one of the best horror movies. I think it's just undeniable. I don't know. I didn't really have anything prepared for that one, but I do love it a lot. And then my last two, what's your two?
I still have 3 left.
Okay, so we are in the right track then.
Yeah.
So what would be 3?
I think. Well, 10 Cloverfield was my third, so my fourth was Halloween, the sequel to Halloween. Halloween 2018? 19?
Oh, well, does that count?
That's the thing. I don't know, because it is a sequel to Halloween. It's a direct sequel because they decanonize everything between the first one and that one.
I'll allow it.
So if that's the case, then yeah.
So David Gordon Green's Halloween.
Yes.
That's 2018.
2018.
Why?
Just because it was everything I wanted a Halloween sequel to be. Um, I think he does the homaging to the first one is great, but also changing it up a bit. I know there's a bit about the the new doctor like letting him go, and he was kind of a bad guy. Uh, didn't tickle a lot of people well, but I thought it was fine. Like there had to be another way for him to get out of that crazy asylum, and it would be another.
I love the
crazy
opening
person.
when they hold up the
Opening's
mask.
great. The redoing the like the credit, the title credit sequence at the beginning where the rotten potato becomes back alive.
I love the way that they do the credits in both of these, in
Yeah,
all
and
three of
all
these.
three of them, yeah.
The way they do the flames in the second one,
Yeah.
and then they do the changing of the faces
Yeah.
in the third one. Halloween Ends, fantastic, so
great,
good.
underrated.
Halloween Kills, very fun.
I love
weakest of the three in my opinion, but very
the
fun.
thing is, I just love how it's the movie where it's like this is gonna be it. Halloween Kills. This is the brutal one. This is the one where everybody's gonna love the fact that he just goes on a rampage.
And it has the mob mentality exploration of it. I think these movies are undervalued.
Yes.
In the way that they genuinely like Halloween, they're doing exactly what the Star Wars sequels were doing, where Halloween 2018 is kind of like The Force Awakens. It's like what you know, it's doing it, and it's doing it pretty well. Halloween Kills is the Rise of Skywalker. It's snappy. It's kind of more about the simple pleasures of it. It's not the story is not as I guess refined as you would like it to be. I don't like the Rise of Skywalker, but I do like Halloween Kills. And then Halloween Ends is The Last Jedi because it's just doing something completely fucking different, but it's so narratively interesting, but everyone hates it because they're like, Laurie Strode would never do that. Literally, people are saying Laurie Strode would never do that. And I'm just like, since when?
Yeah.
You haven't seen this woman in like a long time.
Yeah.
You know?
But I mean the 2018 one. I just remember watching it in the theater, and I was like, this is great. This is what I wanted from a Halloween sequel. Like I felt like it was doing enough respect for the original, and even some of the sequels that they kind of retconned out of it. And I just think it's a great legacy sequel, I guess you could say. Yeah,
I agree.
I don't know if I get.
I do really like it. I don't have as passionate of an opinion on it as you. I think they did a good job with that one. I think the other two are more interesting, but I think that the I mean.
Well, we were only doing I'm
not saying that those should be on your list or anything. I'm just saying like this one doesn't stand out to me as much, but it's also the one I've seen the least. I think I've only seen it like twice.
Oh, okay. Also, I love Halloween, like the original Halloween, John Carpenter's. Every Halloween I would watch that movie.
That's the thing. I was never huge on that.
Michael Myers is still like one of my favorite slasher villains, I guess, because he's so mysterious and he's just a walking death machine. It's great.
Yeah, they really play with that in these new ones. They play with like the myth of Michael Myers and like how we give him power.
Yeah.
And I think that's very interesting.
Yeah.
Good movie. I'll allow it on the list. Okay, so all right.
So we're down to our last two.
Down to our last two. Here's the thing. We've already talked about one of mine. Dr. Sleep is at number one for me. I'm just going to put it out there. Dr. Sleep is number one. I had to do it. But my number two is Evil Dead 2.
Okay. Evil Dead 2 was not my number one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that, and then we'll talk about whatever your number two was. Because, hey, isn't that so nice that we're ending with your number two? This is an episode about sequels.
Yeah. My number two is Aliens.
Okay, why did you say that? Because we were going to talk about Evil Dead, but okay.
Well, yeah, I thought that's what you said, just to do my number two.
Well, we were going to do that last after we talked about Evil Dead, but it's okay. Cat's out of the bag.
Okay.
Okay. So Evil Dead 2.
Yeah.
It's just. I mean, it's the perfect sequel. It's an upgrade in every sense of the word. It's madness. The whole thing is ridiculous. I fucking love it. The practical effects are amazing. It's Sam Raimi is just going insane with it. I watched this last time I saw it. I was like super drunk and we put it on last October, and we watched this, and we watched Army of Darkness back to back.
Yeah.
Army of Darkness is still my favorite, but Evil Dead 2 is the best of the three in terms of being like horror film.
Yeah.
Army of Darkness is more of like an adventure film to me, but Evil Dead 2 is a straight up. It's just so fun.
It's one of the best horror comedies out there. It's one of the best indie movies out there. I remember when I first saw it, I saw it halfway through the movie. It was late at night. My parents were out. I don't know. They were probably going on a date or doing something. But I don't know where my brother was. I think he was probably asleep. But I was just at home with the TV alone, halfway through Evil Dead 2. It's like one of the moments where the guy like gets thrown up and his head breaks the light bulb, and it's like a crazy scene, and I'm just like, what is going on? What is happening? What did I just click on? What movie is this? I've never heard of this movie before. And I see it's like Sam Raimi, director of the Spider-Man movies, and I'm just obsessed afterward. And I rewatch like the first part of Evil Dead 2. Well, I just rewatched the movie, and I show my brother it, and I'm like, this is great. He's chopping his arm off with the chainsaw. This is fantastic. This is some of the coolest filmmaking I've ever seen. It's so creative, and it's like kinetic and cool, and it's got like, and you could tell like it was made on a very cheap scale, but it's still, you could tell that they're having fun making this movie. And it's one of those movies that it's like, this is what movies are all about. Is you're having fun making this crazy nightmare situation that's like actually it's not real, but it's like a cool little story that you could tell. Anyway, I saw it at like what, 14, 15. It's pretty young. It just made a huge impression on me, and it kind of just changed the way I kind of saw how you can make movies be fun for yourself as well as for the audience.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I wish that I had seen this younger. I do.
This is your black phone too.
Yeah, but it's
phone?
still undeniable. It's
Yeah.
still just as fun now. Especially, like, that's one of those things where, like, you watch it as a kid and you can be blown away by just what's happening conceptually, and then as you get older and you understand more about the craft of filmmaking, you're blown away in a whole new way.
Yeah.
It's like, what? Why? Like, they just went for it in this
Yeah.
movie. It's insane.
It's great. It's like movies before Evil Dead 2. Like, what were you guys doing?
Yeah.
So Sam Raimi just had to. Speaking of which, Sam Raimi's got a new movie coming out too.
Send help. It's gonna be so good.
Stayed away from the trailer because I'm afraid it's gonna give too much.
I've seen the trailer and I won't give anything away, but I'm telling you, he's back. Like
I
the
know.
horror, the Drag Me to Hell type Sam Raimi is back with this one. I can just tell. It looks so amazing. Dylan O'Brien and Rachel McAdams.
Dylan O'Brien's kind of going places now. Like, I mean, he's always been around, but like,
yeah, Twinless.
He's showing off his power, even though he's got some of the women you've dated, bro. Like, what?
Caddo Lake. He was good in that.
How? but
anyway,
yeah,
I love
it.
I love Evil Dead 2, and I guess you fucking did that's probably why you got so nervous when I mentioned Aliens as an example. I was like, can't use Split because you can't use Aliens, and then you're like, well, no, Aliens is on my list, so that's fine, I guess.
But it is a horror sequel. What are you talking about?
I mean, it is, but okay, so let's be fair. They are different things. You're right. Because the thing is, Unbreakable, not a horror movie.
Yeah.
There's just no way you can even say it is. But I guess you could say that one scene at the end when he's going through the house is kind of like creepy. But that's it. With Alien, definitely a horror movie. Aliens, it's an action horror. It is.
Yeah, it is, but it's still a horror movie. It's still a horror movie, and it's a horror franchise. Like, you can't really say
you're
that
right.
It's not.
No, you're right. I feel like you're right. They're different things, and then it should be allowed. So that was a bad example on my part.
But I mean, I understand
I'm just pissed because I feel like I should have included Aliens in mine, but I wasn't.
I mean, we'll just like.
I would probably throw it. I would probably throw it like right under maybe Black Phone and Smile too.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, you don't bet against James Cameron.
You don't do it.
Like,
he's got a new movie coming out too.
Yeah, all these movies got directors with movies coming out. But when you think about when Aliens came out, he had only done Terminator, or I guess if you want to count this, the Piranha sequel that he was just kind of thrown on as a director. But making this movie, it's like he had to convince everybody that he was him. And
by doing that, he goes into a room, writes the word alien, writes an S at the end, and then turns the S into a dollar sign.
That's the famous like kind of pitch that he had for making the movie. But it's true. Like, if you're gonna have a horror movie with a creature in it, put more creatures in it, and it's scarier. And I always thought Aliens was scarier than Alien when I was a kid, because my parents allowed me to watch Alien and Aliens at like 9.
I like Alien more,
which is fine. I thank my parents for allowing me to see that stuff at an early age, because I think it in a way it really taught me how to like see movies as like, this is not real. All this is like blood and stuff. It's not real. It's fake. And
bro, your parents showed you Alien, like they were like, you should watch this.
I don't think they were like, you should.
But
watch
you were like,
this.
you can.
They had like the DVDs.
See, this is like there were movies in my house, but like I was not being given the classics, bro. I was not being fed the classics. Maybe this is why I'm so fucked up. It's just like I'm not. I would not. I have to like find these now. Alien, I saw that shit for the first time on a 4K Blu-ray in 2020 that I bought.
Yeah,
I bought it because I was like, it's Alien. I need to have seen Alien. And the way that, so don't expect me to have all this encyclopedic knowledge of the classics, but I'm making my way through. I'm becoming a cinephile yet.
But yeah, I mean, I remember watching those movies as kids, and they were fun. They were scary movies. They were fun, scary alien movies. But Aliens scared me the most. I don't know. I think it was just the idea that there was just a bunch of these aliens coming to get you. They're like in the vents. Everything's dark and like the lights turn off, and now it's just the red like scary light.
Yeah, see, to me it's like, when you see cockroaches in your house, or you're like, there's a roach in the room, or like whatever.
Like the face hugger,
it's like
when it's like,
yeah, it's like, what if that shit was big as fuck and was an alien and impregnated you?
Yeah, I mean, it is a horror action movie because there's a bunch of colonial marines shooting out at these aliens, but
yeah,
it's still so scary. Like, especially as a kid, I was like, well, this is terrifying.
Yeah,
it didn't like give me nightmares or anything, and I wasn't like traumatized by it, but understanding the situation that those characters were in and how good James Cameron is at really fleshing out the plot and like what these characters have to do to accomplish their mission or to stop the bad guy, whatever it is. He's so good at like just being a storyteller and like having that visual style of, and that genius technical knowledge of how to put it all together, that I loved Aliens. I loved it so much. It's still my favorite of all the Alien movies. I think I could say that Ridley Scott's Alien, is a perfect horror movie, but I think Aliens is more of a perfect personal movie for me.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
So I don't know if that, yeah.
I mean, I think, Alien is like that time when we were trying to kill that roach in our garage, and that's how that feels, right? But Aliens is that time when we had to take out that whole nest of wasps in our backyard. And really, it's those two thrilling experiences to the nth degree.
Yeah, pretty much.
In film.
Oh man, we went quite a bit.
Yeah. We're looking at like 2 hours.
Yeah. But
Ethan Hawke's been on the screen the whole time.
I feel like I'm missing movies, though. I feel like this is not a perfect little thing.
We were never going to make make a list.
Yeah.
That's why later we'll have a sequel to this episode.
and be like, then we'll all the movies that we didn't talk about because we just weren't thinking about it.
We weren't thinking. No, but for real this time. These are the sequels. Yeah, okay, so, I mean, that kind of wraps it. This is our 10 favorite horror sequels that, I guess, at the moment that we could come up with. Go see Black Phone 2 in the theater. We both liked it. Fun stuff. Let us know what your favorite horror sequel is and what you thought of Black Phone 2, and also let us know what you're doing for Halloween. You know, that's I will be dressing up. This episode's coming out before Halloween, so I'm not going to spoil that and hear what I'm dressing up as, because I think the whole reason I want to do it is because the reveal is going to be really funny on social media. So, yeah, and it also kind of stays consistent with something I've done the last 3 years. And there's like a theme to it. Anyway, yeah. And, you know.
I don't know what I'm going to I don't even know if I'm going to The thing is, for some reason, this month just hasn't been spooky season for me. Yeah. I just haven't been really watching. It's
because all the scary stuff's been happening in real life.
That's true, yeah.
We don't need nothing scarier than that.
But yeah, I just haven't really been in the mood for spooky season, which is odd because I always love October. But I don't know, things just haven't been.
I know, it's a fucking bummer. We need to breathe life into it. So that's why we're doing a Halloween special. But I think this got me a little more excited about horror movies, a little more in the mood, just as an exercise. So thank you guys so much for listening. And as always, follow us everywhere, rate the podcast, leave a comment, all that good stuff. And do you want to say anything else?
No, I think we're good.
Okay. Well, I've been Peyton.
And I've been Adryon.
And we'll see you next time on the Apple Box. Happy Halloween.